Here's one of the most common myths about the U.S. military, specifically about the United States Marine Corps and how the President of the United States can employ them or deploy them without the approval of Congress. More so that it's the only branch that the President can do this with. Legally, the President has always had authority over every branch of the United States Armed Forces, and this comes from Article 2, Section 2 of the Constitution. There has never been a law that has given Marines exclusive status for rapid combat deployments. Not a single one. The President can deploy any branch of the military at any time that he wants to. And there was really no restrictions on this until 1973, when Congress passed a law called the War Powers Resolution Act of 1973. Now here's what the President can do according to law. The President can deploy the United States military, any branch, for up to 60 days. That 60 days, however, isn't counted until the forces are introduced into hostilities or imminent hostilities. However, once the clock starts, he's got 60 days. Once those hostilities start, within 48 hours, Congress must be notified. Now, a lot of people are going to tell you that it's 90 days. However, those last 30 days are only for a few things: distraction, force protection, equipment retrograde, and logistical movements out of the theater. So 60 days of combat, 30 days of retrograde. And again, this applies to every branch of the military, to include the Coast Guard when federalized by the Department of War. Now, the Marine Corps, for the most part, is made for this type of thing. Marines are stationed on Navy ships all around the world, comprised of Marine expeditionary units, and are usually closest to an area of friction, or can at least get to that area quicker because they're already out there floating around, with all of their equipment and everything they need right there on the ships. So to recap, the President can deploy any branch of the United States military for up to 60 days of combat operations, has 48 hours to notify Congress of the combat operations, and then after those 60 days, has 30 days of retrograde. Now, the only way that this time period can be extended is a vote through Congress for the authorization of use of military force or a declaration of war. So, the more you know.